Chris Gunness, a former UNRWA spokesman. He joins us from London. Good to see you again, Chris. These sites, they've been designed and controlled in every way by the GHF. They're penning in Palestinians, restricting their movement. They've created the conditions of desperation. Can there be any doubt now that this is a weaponization of aid and that these food distribution sites are essentially human abattoirs, as you once put it?
Absolutely, and I regret having to use that phrase, human abattoir, but that's exactly what they have become. And let's take a step back and look at what is going on. An army which has put a fence round 2.3 million defenseless people, starve them to death. The blockade has been going on since at least 2007. We now have a situation where people are starving to death. They're herding them south into what one former Israeli prime minister has described as a Nazi-style concentration camp. When these starving, unarmed civilians come for food, they're then shot and taken to hospitals where, because of the Israeli army and its supporters, and I'm thinking here of my own government, the British government, but also the Americans, the Germans, Europeans, the list can go on. But because Israel has been getting away with not allowing medicines in, these people who are starving and shot at are then taken to hospitals where they're having to have operations without anesthetics. So that's the big picture. There's a genocide going on. I think increasingly politicians around the world, scholars, human rights people, people with knowledge of what's going on the ground have done the factual analysis, have done the legal analysis. It's a genocide, and it's a genocide which is now seeing a huge concentration camp being established and being live streamed on our television sets. Whatever happened to the phrase "never again"? It seems that Israel and its supporters believes that that phrase only applies to Israelis and Jews.
Israel has said that it's implemented this distribution system built around the GHF to keep Hamas from stealing aid. Again, with this latest incident, they say the surge was driven by agitators in the crowd who were affiliated to Hamas. As long as Israel is allowed to use Hamas as an excuse to kill and starve ordinary Palestinians, will this be stopped, and will the GHF be held accountable?
Well, that's a very, very interesting question, because the very raison d'etre of the GHF was to stop Hamas getting hold of the aid. We were told in the United Nations, UNRWA and others were told, well, you've all been infiltrated by Hamas, we can't trust you. And here we have the GHF, the very organization apparently created to stop Hamas diverting aid, getting hold of aid, admitting that armed militants are getting hold of the aid. Isn't that a sign now that the amateurs, these cowboys, need to step aside? I mean, 1,000 people nearly killed in 6 weeks. UNRWA, the organization I used to work for, has been doing food distribution, has been doing aid on the ground since 1950, and there's never been a period in UNRWA's history, a 6-week period, in which 1,000 people coming to get UNRWA aid were killed. It's madness. It's all part of a campaign which is ultimately aimed at trying to get rid of the refugees themselves, both politically and physically, because make no mistake, this concentration camp is a place where people either go to be transited out of Gaza or to stay there and die like a Nazi concentration camp. So what we need to see is for the professionals to be allowed back into Gaza. UNRWA's Palestinian staff, thousands of them throughout this conflict, have been distributing aid, have been giving shelter, water, waste management, all waste product management. This has been going on. We need to come to our senses and to allow the professionals. UNRWA is the backbone of the UN response. It has the aid distribution systems. It has warehouses. It has the lists, by the way, of all the people who collect aid. We know, we give them to their hands. We know exactly who these people are. There is a system to prevent Hamas getting hold of this aid. Never in my time at UNRWA did Hamas ever get hold of it. I should say there was one occasion we put out a very powerful statement, and everything that was taken from a warehouse that Hamas broke into was given back. It happened once in UNRWA's long, long history. We need to come to our senses, get rid of this insane slaughterhouse organization, which is allowing 1,000 people to be killed in a month. We need to hand this operation back to the United Nations. They have the professionalism, they have the history, they have the experience, they have all of the infrastructure. We need to move back to that. The world needs to come to its senses. We have a system, it could be flicked into operation in a heartbeat, and that's where we need to go.
Chris Gunness, former UNRWA spokesman, joining us there from London. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.